Greetings. This is Brenda Lopez. I'm the Housing Programs Manager for the Oxnard Housing Authority, and this item is regarding the 5-year agency plan and the annual plan. I would first like to provide a little bit of background on these plans. The 5-year Public Housing Authority, also referred to as PHA, and the annual agency plan provide a description of the Housing Authority's basic regulations, requirements, and operational program policies. The existing 5-year PHA plan was adopted in the year 2020. The annual agency plan, which would now be in the 3rd year of the 5-year PHA plan, outlines any revisions, any new activities, and progress towards the PHA's goals and objectives on an annual basis. These reports are required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development under 24 CFR Part 903. The plans also serve as an application for capital fund grants, which provide the funding that is necessary for capital improvements for public housing units. These reports are due to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, also referred to as HUD, by April 14, 2023, which is 75 days prior to the start of the coming fiscal year. In fiscal year 2023, the Oxnard Housing Authority is proposing a revision and new activities. Specifically, the revision would be for the Section 8, or also the Housing Choice Voucher Program Administrative Plan. HUD allows public housing authorities to establish local preferences based on local housing needs and priorities. The proposed change will allow for applicants who meet the definition of homelessness to be eligible for a preference. Applicants and families who meet this definition will be required to provide a certification of homelessness to be completed by a homeless services provider. In addition, the Oxnard Housing Authority will limit the number of applicants or families that qualify for this preference to no more than 15 on an annual basis. In addition, in fiscal year 2023, the Oxnard Housing Authority proposes to undertake 2 major new activities. One is the conversion of public housing to project-based, and the second one is project-based vouchers. Specifically for conversion, in June of 2020, the Oxnard Housing Authority launched the Rethink and Renew effort to streamline operations, improve customer service, modernize public housing units, expand programs, and close budget deficits. As part of this effort, HUD approved for CVR Associates, Inc., hereinafter referred to as CVR, to provide an assessment of the Oxnard Housing Authority's public housing portfolio. CVR issued a report that outlines various strategies available to transition the Oxnard Housing Authority's public housing portfolio to a Section 8 subsidy. This action will provide a more stable stream of subsidy, is more conducive to raising debt and equity, and will allow the Oxnard Housing Authority to leverage funding for rehabilitation of its public housing units. The Oxnard Housing Authority would not be losing any units to this process, but rather changing the funding stream that is in place. The Oxnard Housing Authority is proposing to begin the process of further analyzing the feasibility of the strategic opportunities that were identified by CVR through related activities, which would include physical needs assessments for all of its projects, financial analysis, environmental reviews, and the development of an asset repositioning plan. All of this would be presented back to all appropriate stakeholders and council for approval. In addition, the Oxnard Housing Authority would like to undertake additional efforts to identify and apply for new voucher allocation opportunities that are specific to project-based vouchers. The project-based voucher is different from a Section 8 voucher in that it is subsidized housing assistance that is tied to a specific unit versus an individual. The goal with this effort is to increase the number of affordable units that are available for low-income families. As mentioned earlier, the submission of the annual plans also serve as an application for capital funds. The Capital Fund Program, once again, is to maintain and preserve the integrity of the Oxnard Housing Authority's public housing units and to fund necessary improvements. For fiscal year 2023, the requested capital fund budget is $1,538,180. Out of this amount, approximately $740,000 will be used towards capital improvements. Specifically, The 504 conversion, which refers to the multi-phase project that is underway through which 24 existing units in the public housing program are being converted or modified to ensure they're accessible to individuals with disabilities. This is a requirement from HUD. All public housing units will also be inspected, and any necessary repairs will be completed to ensure they meet federal inspection standards. All remaining funds will be allocated towards debt repayment and administrative expenses. The proposed revisions, changes, and new activities were posted for public review. The 45-day public comment period started on December 1st, 2022. In addition, staff held 2 meetings, one on December 1st, 2022, and one on January 26, 2023. During the meetings, 2 questions were received. One was clarification on whether or not the homeless preference being proposed is related to the same program that is in existence. The response is yes. The preference is related to the current homeless set-aside program, which has been in place for 7 years. This preference would apply to the applicants for those 15 homeless set-aside vouchers. The second question received was whether or not capital funds could be used to paint the interior of all public housing units arbitrarily. The response is that this year we are allocating funds to inspect each unit individually, and any repairs needed will be completed. Public housing residents were also encouraged to place a request for a work order if their unit is in need of painting versus waiting for the next fiscal year. No written objections or written comments were received. Therefore, the recommendation is that the Housing and Economic Development Committee recommend that the Housing Authority of the City of Oxnard hold a public hearing to receive comments concerning the 3rd year of the 5-year PHA plan, the 2023 Capital Fund Program, hereinafter referred to as CFP budget, and the CFP 5-year action plan, and also adopt a resolution which would approve the 2023 annual agency plan, the 5-year PHA plan for the Housing Authority, authorizing and directing the chairman to execute HUD-related certifications in order to ensure we're in compliance, authorizing the housing director to execute and submit all reports, documents, and all the certifications required to comply with HUD policies and procedures regarding both plans, approving the 2023 CFP budget and CFP 5-year action plan, and authorizing the housing director to accept and expend the funds as indicated in the 2023 CFPB budget and the CFPB 5-year action plan. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.